Thabang Monare, thank you so much for coming in. Orlando Pirates midfield star, Nedbank Cup winner.
Yep.
How good does that feel? Because I've seen pictures on your Instagram where you are kissing that trophy. I mean, is it like something you dream of as a footballer?
Yeah, definitely. Definitely.
I mean, for me, it looks like all that hard work, the sacrifice, the stress of a big final,
Yeah.
keeping the fans happy.
Yeah.
That's pressure, man. Is there added pressure every time you wear that famous black and white jersey?
Well, yeah, there's always pressure, being part of such a huge club. And we take it in a positive way. It's the kind of pressure that gets us to improve ourselves, that gets us to want to do best. Every session, every week we have a match. It's that kind of pressure that gets you to say, look, you can always do better. You can always make these people happy. That's a positive kind of pressure, which I think it makes us better individuals, better players.
I think you've made your fans very happy this season. Second place, that means you're in the CAF Champions League.
Yep.
So the African journey continues.
Yep.
Last year was the Confed Cup final. That was, I mean, how tough is it playing in Africa? Because we've obviously followed Mamelodi Sundowns for since 2016 and maybe even before that. You guys have also been flirting with Champions League. There's been the Confederation Cup where you guys have sort of been there and made the final. Is it a tough assignment to be playing on the continent, because it's very different to week in, week out in the PSL, isn't it?
Yeah, it's very, first of all, before you even play a game, we're talking traveling.
Yeah.
Traveling, it takes a lot out of us, but that's what we get used to, and that we just suck it in, and we take it as professionals. And when you go and play in a foreign place where everyone is against you from the airport, and when you just landed, you can see the people that are checking your bags. The attitude that they give you is that, look, this is not your house, but it's really exciting that we're playing against different sides,
Sure.
Teams that you don't really play against, on a weekly basis. But it's very good. It's a very good experience. It's a very trying to also understand the cultures of other people, and understand how they live in the process of playing football, which is what I think happened in my life, that in everything that I've learned in my life was through football. It taught me a lot of things. It showed me a lot of places, and it got me to appreciate people for who they are, so I really learned a lot, in the game, and I'm still learning.
I think that's exactly what you said there. Football is a universal, it's a global game. It connects all types of people from all over the world. Africa has this rich history of creating talent. We know with the PSL going back to when it started, the amount of talented players that have come through and afforded people the opportunity to do what they love and earn a living. But before we get into that, take me back. Where did it start? Where's your fondest, or that moment where you were like, this is the sport for me. I'm going to be a footballer.
Look, at a very young age, where I was born in Mpumalanga, like in the same street, right next door my grandmother's house, there was a team already when I was born.
Okay.
There was a team already. It was called Paradise FC. So, like, I don't really have the memory of saying there's a time where I decided that it's going to be football for me. For me, it feels like it always has been football, because I was born into that, where, at a young age, I would come watch them, dress up and singing, and, and the field was not far. They would walk to the field. So I would sing with them, go there. And sometimes they would walk maybe like 6-7 kilometers to go play a match in another area. I go with them, so for me, it has always been like that. It has always been football, because I was born in that kind of environment where, like, it was just football, every Saturday, until I got to an age where I could train, which I think it was at a very, very, very early age. It was I was very
single
young.
digits.
Yeah, I think so. Like I was very, very young. You know,
Sure.
I was born into that kind of
Yeah.
environment where it was just football. You know, it was just football, nothing else. It was just football. So I just like I wouldn't say fell into that. I was born into that.
Got you.
Yeah.
Oh, well, that's special, man. That's absolutely special. I can see the passion you have. Is Paradise FC still around?
Yeah. So what happened with Paradise FC? It went on to change its name to Remember FC.
Okay.
So I think when was that? I think it was in 98 or there, if I'm not mistaken. I was still young. They won the Nike Cup.
Okay.
Yeah, they went to play in France.
Wow.
They went to play in France and they won it again. They went to represent South Africa in Spain.
That's amazing.
Yeah, so it was a very good team. You know, we had also players that, you know, at some point in my life, I thought football on TV, people that are playing on TV, is just not for me. It's not for, you know, people that are like me, you know. And we had players that started doing it, that were playing for Remember FC, and those people were right next to me, you know. So my dream became alive, and I was like, this is actually possible.
Yeah.
You know, I see this guy on TV, and the next thing, he's here, and I'm like, you know, we had Ntlantla Shabalala, we had Calvin Kadi, we had Sbusiso Temba, we had May Mahlangu.
These are some seriously talented players.
Yeah, we Remember FC was a very, very big team. You know, it was a very big team. It produced a lot of talent. We also had Sbusiso Mzizi. You know, like this Simpiwe Mtweni, who was playing for Chiefs.
It's a proper factory of talent, eh?
Yeah, like it was. It was. You know, we had a lot of, you know, talent, and also you need to understand that everything works with luck. You know, there were a lot of people that were actually very, very talented.
Yeah.
You know, but they didn't make it to the professional side of the game.
Does that make you even more grateful?
Yes,
Because
yeah,
there are, I mean, and in any sport, there are guys that are ridiculously talented in their teens, and you're like, this one's destined to make it.
Yeah.
But they didn't make it, and the people that might not have, or have 50% of that talent,
Yeah.
but they're prepared to work and they have a bit of luck. It's a game that someone catches the eye, and they make it. So I imagine that makes you grateful every time it's a training session, a fan asks for a photo, or you turn out and it's a Soweto Derby, and you're like, oh my goodness, there's how many thousand people against the enemy.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I'm always grateful. You know, I'll forever be grateful to the game, and you know, the hard work that I put in, you know, in getting to where I am today. Because look, I've played with ridiculously talented people. Like at my age, there was a time where I didn't even see the lineup at Remember FC. I couldn't even see the lineup. And I understood. And I understood that because we had crazy talent, you know, and unfortunately those guys didn't make it into the professional side, you know, and that's what also, you know, makes me, you know, grateful and forever grateful to the game, you know, and forever, like, I feel like I owe everything to the game, you know, in a session, in a match, you know, I always try and, you know, give my best, because that's my motivation, you know, that, look, it could have been someone else.
Absolutely.
You know, it could have been someone else. So now that it's you, you need to always show up, you know. You need to always do the right things. You need to always be like a proper professional, you know, and be grateful to the game.
When you signed your first professional contract, what did you do? Were you celebrating? Were you phoning the family? What did you do? That must have been a special moment. I mean, not many people experience that.
Yeah, it was it was 2009 with Amatax. So when I first signed the contract, I called my mom and I told her that, Mom, I'm going to wear a jersey that has my surname.
What did she say?
She just started laughing, and then she was like, but you didn't know. And I'm like, no, I didn't know. I just thought that, you know, I don't know, but I'm just happy, you know, like I had mixed emotions, you know, that, look, I'm going to wear a jersey that has, you know, my surname, and I was just happy about that. And quickly, like early before that, now you forget about that, because now when you are part of the team, you get to understand now that there's other things that you need to do. There's a lot of hard work that you need to put in, and
Levels.
the jersey is the least of your problems. For you to wait, you have to do something first.
Absolutely.
You have to work hard for you to wear the jersey on the weekend.
right.
So that's why I got to realize, I'm like, being a professional footballer is proper hard work. Like it's not just you playing and you're on TV, and it's just proper hard work. It's the work is during the week. I always say that games are overrated. Sessions are where you do everything.
Yeah.
And by the time you get to the game, if you train properly, you don't have worries. I mean, everything just falls into place.
Yeah. That preseason is always fun in games. Was that an eye-opener for you when you did become a professional footballer? How much that preseason requires, not just physically, but mentally also, to tune in and say, I've got to put on the boots and we've got to be ready to run however many kilometers it is and how many sessions it is to be fit enough to compete at this level.
Yeah, I mean that's the foundation. That's the foundation of where your season is going, as a club and as an individual. So as an individual, you create a foundation, which is proper hard work, where you run, you like this running, this picking weights, this jumping, this, everything you can think of, as pool sessions, as, everything that you can think of, and as tiring as it is, but it's paving your way in how your season will shape up. If you don't get it there and that preseason, then you're going to have a season with an up and down graph, a graph that goes, you're there, now you're not there. But if that foundation is solid and it's strong, you like, no matter how hard the season gets, but you will stand out. That's why you see like players that shine within the season. If you look back and see what they were doing preseason, you'll actually see that why they are where they are.
Now that you're, I would say, a more experienced footballer, does that preseason get tougher each time? Or is it just part of the business that I need to be working as hard as possible to ensure I'm not injured, I'm fit enough, and I get into that starting 11?
Yeah, for me, it became part of the business, because I got to understand and have tricks of how to deal with it, because even now, it's off season, but I'm not sitting,
thanks for driving from Mpumalanga, by the way. That's like, Ray,
it's a pleasure.
I think you've got the record for the furthest drive to the show. So thanks, man. I appreciate it.
It's a pleasure, man. It's a pleasure. Yeah. So with me, it became like part of business. It's something that has to be done. And even in the off season, as a professional, you don't just sit. You just keep your body ticking.
Yeah.
Keep your body ticking when you go to the preseason, it won't be as hard as
I got you.
You understand. And when you do the work as an individual at home, when you get to preseason, you actually understand that it's not that hard, really. It's just that we come and our bodies are down there.
Yeah.
Now we have to restart. Once you have to restart, then that's the problem. That's
you.
where the problem comes. That's where you'll have knocks, you'll have muscle pain. But when your body's already ticking, you just gradually get into it.
So it's like maintenance on an engine.
Maintenance on
I got
an
you.
engine.
So you're doing some runs now, and light
yeah.
gym sessions and that type of thing. Still watching what you eat.
Yeah.
Okay.
Definitely.
Epitome of a professional.
I find you for that.
And that's why you've been playing such incredible football, because
Thank you.
it's Orlando Pirates. I feel whenever they get onto the field, there's this added weight, and I'm sure it's the same with Kaizer Chiefs. Mamelodi Sundowns have done incredibly well of late.
Yeah.
But I feel that in particular with Chiefs and Pirates, there's this added spotlight, because you're the two oldest, you're the two biggest clubs in South Africa. Does that sort of change when you're out on the street? I know you speak about being a role model and
Yep.
inspiring people, but I'm sure when you're walking around outside, they're like, "Oh my goodness, that's Thabang Monare.
Yeah,
Let's
yeah,
get a
yeah,
photo."
yeah,
You know what I
yeah,
mean?
Yeah.
There must be a limit though from that sort of access when it comes to fans, because
Yeah.
I'm sure even though you won't say that it gets tiring,
Yep. Yep.
there's a limit to that constant attention, you know. And I suppose
Yeah.
when you go home, maybe there's a break for you as opposed to being here in Joburg all the time.
Well,
Was it noisy? You know what
honestly,
that's how I
yeah.
see it.
Honestly, when you start, playing for Orlando Pirates, there's no break into these things. And for me, yes, I'm a human being. Sometimes maybe I would want my space or whatever. But the thing is that I have once upon a time been in these people's shoes. You understand? Where in getting a picture, with a guy like the late Skarangobese, may his soul rest in peace. Getting a picture with a guy like that, it would change your entire week. It would change your entire week, and I get to understand that, those little things, it might seem like to me it's just taking a picture, but to the next person, it's something else. You changing lives is not just, like helping people financially, or, you can help by, just giving time,
Yeah.
with the people, because you need to understand also that if you are part of this game, you get your salary from the people, if we put it that way, and we have to look at it that way, that as tiring as it is, these people support, this club, and they invested emotionally, to the club. And I mean, taking a picture with people, like I don't think that would be so much of a problem. I mean, if there's 10 people coming to take a picture, I mean, you take that picture, because I understood I was a kid one day, and I would die for these moments. So why not offer, because now you're in that position where you understand better, you've been in these people's shoes, so you can do better, which is, I don't really mind, like I can take 100 pictures.
It's such a refreshing approach, because I think there's a lot of footballers and sportsmen and women who take what they have for granted, and it's more of a distraction, or you know what I mean. And I just think it's so refreshing to hear a professional athlete like yourself, with the responsibility that comes with playing for a club like Pirates, just making time, because as you say, a football career is only so long. And at one point with Bidfest Wits, at the time we had COVID. You suddenly got the news the club 100 years is not around anymore.
Yep.
That must have been incredibly stressful for someone who had worked so hard to get to that, where you were playing, and Wits were, I mean, you guys were top of the pops.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, it was a very, like, it was a very big club, look at the history and
Titles.
and the thing is, with where the team was when it got sold,
You
it
guys
was
were
not
flying.
it was not even the end of it. That team was going very far.
Yeah.
I promise you. Like, with the players that were there or without them, but the team was still going to go far because of the structure that they had and how they, did things, and the academy, and So for me, when I look at how they did things, I look at them also as they were a big club in how they run the team and how they do things. Obviously the fan base was not a lot compared to Mamelodi Sundowns, Chiefs, and Pirates. But their professionalism was so crazy. I mean, you don't just get titles. It's never by luck.
The playing surface alone, just where you guys, I mean, the two grounds, but the training facility, that was FIFA grass, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, top, like,
From World Cup 2010.
It was properly maintained.
Yeah.
Properly. You will never find it like brown there, and it was always proper, well maintained, and with the field also where we played at Bidvest Stadium, well maintained.
I love that stadium. It's like it's a cozy stadium.
Yeah.
No, it was great to watch football there. But how stressful was that, knowing things were and where you were going to end up? Because I'm sure at that point you're going, what just happened?
Yep.
And it's sure the other players felt exactly the same.
Exactly. And for me, what was more stressing was not that, where am I going to go? The stressing part about it was, what just happened? Why? You understand? Because what happens is that we work, we leave legacies. You understand? That's why there's legends in places, because they've worked hard, for that specific club, and they've won silverware, So whoever that comes to the club after these people play, they will know that, okay, here we had 1, 2, 3, 4. They did 1, 2, 3. You understand? And basically now, for us as players, it's not just saying, okay, from Verts, I might not get a team. It's, okay, from Verts, now the hard work that I've put in for Verts just vanishes.
Yeah. It's like literally gone. Like,
you understand?
wiped off. It's in history. It will always be in history, but it's in history. It
is, but it's not.
It's a Wikipedia entry.
Do you understand? It's not in proper history where, like, the badge is still there. The structures are still there. There's a wall of fame. There's it's just a matter of talking about it. You understand? And it would always be grateful. To it's like when we at Orlando Pirates. You understand? We know who did what. We know who brought this star. We know
it's on the walls.
You understand what
absolutely.
I'm saying? And that's so motivating. You look at these big people and then you're like, damn, I really need to be part of these people, So
that's tough. And then when Pirates came knocking, did you just know that was the right fit for you? Because if I'm not mistaken, at the time you were linked to a few clubs, including Kaizer Chiefs.
Yeah, like at the time I thought it was just, because the thing is that you understand that when there was COVID, and I feel like there was no stories really for the media to carry out. So anything that would, they'll just blow it over proportion. You understand? So that's what happened with me. And I'm there. I'm like, hi, man. And so I ended up at Pirates. But that other news, that one I didn't know nothing of.
Yeah,
I didn't know anything about it.
But signing for Pirates, that's another amazing dream come true for this player from Mpumalanga with Paradise and Remember, and now Wits was no longer, but you've gone to that next level. And I suppose with any player's career, that progression is where you, and all due respect to Wits, because Wits did amazing things, but it was an upward move.
Yeah, definitely. When you get to realize, it's like you would, play against, Orlando Pirates, and, you will see how big the club is. But actually being part of the club, that's when you actually see how big the club is. Yeah. And like I would have moments, while I was still playing for Verts, I would have moments where like I'd have like maybe a peaceful cup of coffee, at a restaurant, and I'd have those moments where I would even forget that people know me, okay. Hey, Thabang,
Yeah.
But when I joined Orlando Pirates, from the introduction, from the unveiling, it just changed everything.
Really,
it just changed everything.
It's another level. It really is another level.
Yeah, it's another stage. It's another stage where you have that pressure. You have to take it as a positive kind of pressure. You have to take it as, let me try and improve myself to try and always make these people happy. You understand? And that's the kind of pressure that you want as a professional or in life. I don't think that life would be worth it without pressure. You know, I mean, we need that certain like kind of pressure to push us so that we can get to, you know, where we want to go. It's like, you know, you guys want to get on 16 episodes. You know, that's the kind of pressure that, you know, the positive kind of pressure that we need in our lives so that, you know, we can take a step up.
From the minute you signed, did you go to the calendar and look for the derby? You know what I'm saying? Because I think everyone, regardless of how the season ends, and congratulations on second, the Nedbank Cup, which is amazing.
Thank you.
But every Pirates fan, when the fixture comes out, they go, "Where's the derby? Where's the derby?"
Yeah.
Do you remember your first one as being a big occasion, or maybe just sort of take us there? What was it like preparing for that? Is it a change? Is there, I mean, because all of a sudden the media goes, the attachment, it's just on another level, the tension. Was it different preparing for your first derby?
Well, it's really hard, you know, for me to tell in that kind of sense, because if you remember, it was still COVID. So the derby was out there more than the stadium.
That's right. You in that bubble and all that. Oh,
so
man.
The derby was outside. The people, you know, the media, the social media, that's where the derby was. And it was strange at the time because we had COVID, you know, and imagine you join Orlando Pirates. And your first game is against Kaizer Chiefs.
That's mad.
Yeah, so my first game.
Oh, that's right. It was your first game.
Yeah, so my first game for Orlando Pirates was against Kaizer Chiefs.
Welcome to the club.
You know, so as different as it was without the fans in the stadium, but you could feel something about it.
I got you.
You know, you could feel something about it. I mean, driving to the stadium, you know, people are waiting on the side of the road, and you know, these people are breaking the laws.
No masks, no social distancing
for these clubs. And now this is when you get to understand, you know, how emotionally these people are invested to these clubs. You understand?
Yeah.
And that's when I looked at it and I was in the bus and I'm like, what? Isn't there supposed to be no one? You know? What's going on? But the people were there outside the gates in the stadium. I'm like, wow.
That's insane.
That was insane. And wait until the COVID was over and we played the derby. That's like a different kind of atmosphere. Like it's different.
Yeah.
Like
it's different to playing Sundowns or Amazulu
it's completely different.
Yeah.
Like it's even like when we played the Nedbank Cup final, it still doesn't have that magnitude of the derby.
Yeah.
You know,
magnitude's absolutely the right word. It really is.
It's huge. Like you can feel it also.
And are there major butterflies when you're walking out on that field because that place is rocking?
That place is rocking. Like that place is rocking.
So what's going through your mind there? Like when you're walking onto the pitch, are you thinking about I have to execute the game plan, or are you like taking in a bit of the atmosphere? Because there'll be a day when you hang up your boots and you won't be part of that.
Yeah.
And you will tell your kids, listen, you know, this is what it was like. Or your grandkids one day.
Yeah.
So that's why I say I think to be present in that moment and at least soak it up a little bit.
Yeah.
Before getting down to the poker face and what's got to happen on the pitch. That must be something incredible.
Yeah, I mean, you wouldn't be a human being if you don't, you know, have those butterflies and a little bit nervous in this kind of, you know, situations or atmospheres, you know. But the quicker you suck it in, the better, you know, because you will end up playing the occasion instead of the match. You know, because the occasion is the fans and everyone being there. But at the end of the day, you have to do the job on the field and you have to execute.
I mean, you're getting paid to do that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Game plan, you know, and how the coach wants us to play. You understand? It's not about the people, the atmosphere that's there. It's about now going to the field and saying, okay, thank you guys. I'll see you after the game. Now let's do this.
Yeah.
You understand? They're still there, but your focus...
The ghost is there.
Yeah. Your focus shifts to saying, this is what needs to be done. Yeah. So, yeah.
That's amazing because obviously Man City now have done incredible things. I mean, fair enough, the budget, the players,
yeah.
the coaching staff, Pep. But that was a very interesting point you make. Don't play the occasion. And when City were playing Inter Milan, you could see that first half, Pep was saying, calm down, because they were playing the occasion.
Yeah.
But it's difficult not to do it, right?
Yeah, it's very difficult not to do it. It's very difficult. That's why everything comes with experience. You understand? Like when you're experienced in these things, or you are associated with experience, then you learn from them and you get to see that, oh, this is how you need to do things. You know, I remember also I got those words from Dane Clayt. We were playing the MTN 8 final against Mamelodi Sundowns in Bombela. And he kept on saying, don't play the occasion, play the game. And I didn't understand what this guy was saying. I'm like, what? Occasion is part of the game.
Yeah.
You know, I'm like,
it's a final. Here we are.
Yeah. I said, don't play the occasion, play the game. And I was like, you know, and when the game went, I finally understood what the guy was saying. You know, that execute the game plan the way that the team is planned.
Yeah.
You understand? Don't try and do something unfamiliar with the team to please your fans or to show whoever how good you are. You execute. You play for the team. You play for the next individual.
You're not bringing out the Kazi style.
Yeah.
You avoid
basically, yeah. You know, because sometimes when we get when we get to this kind of stages, we sometimes have this thing of saying maybe we need to show people, you know, as individuals what we can do. And now that directs the team into a whole different path, you know, which is not good for the team, you know. So that's why when you are playing the match, you are doing what you were doing in training, you are doing what you did in the previous game. If it worked for the team, sticking to like your positions, you know, the formation, the tactics and everything, you know. But if the occasion gets to you, you know, you don't want to do extra, and that's when...
Yeah, tied legs, you fall into trap, you make mistakes. Absolutely. Speaking of that star that you guys have on your chests, it's been a while.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Sundowns have obviously come close, but also they're coming up against some big teams and seem to be just falling at those hurdles. When you go into this next campaign, CAF Champions League, you're playing against the best clubs on the continent.
Yeah.
You don't need motivation.
Yep, definitely not.
I mean, you got Al Ahly, the Wydad's, you know, name a few, TP Mazembe's, all these clubs. When you go into those, and you know there's the travel and that sort of thing, but I suppose as a group you just lifted, right? It's an occasion because it's a privilege to play in that competition.
Yeah, and also before you get to be motivated by this other big club that you play against, you are motivated by the story of the club that you're representing.
That's true.
You know, you are motivated.
You guys were the first.
That. Exactly.
Yeah.
Now you want to work so that when you are gone, you are remembered as to Thabang was part of the team that brought the star, the second star. You understand? So already that's a motivation. And if you're looking at this other clubs, and then that gets it, you know.
Because you're the first to get a star, and potentially, I mean, obviously Sundowns will be challenging again.
Yeah.
But there's also the chance to be the first to put 2 stars on that famous jersey. I've got to ask you, in terms of influences in your life, who would you put down to? I mean, you've worked under some great coaches.
Yeah.
Who's been sort of the biggest influence in your career so far that's maybe sort of given you that confidence or that feeling of, I get this, I understand.
Yeah.
He has faith in me, he's backing me, now I can just play. Because for a lot of athletes, that pressure alone is something they have to deal with.
Yeah.
But there's also the pressure of fitting into a coach's game plan and executing that game plan.
Well, look, the thing is within my career, I had like good coaches that I worked under, and they all brought something different about me.
Sure.
You understand? And there was Jomo Sono. You know, he he made you believe that you are good. He made you believe that, look, just do it. You can.
Yeah.
You understand? And that always brought, that confidence up in me, brought that confidence up to say, look, you are better. He'd compare me to players like, look at this guy. If you do 1, 2, 3, you will be better than this guy. You better now, and every time would lift that confidence, and then there was Gavin. That one taught me how to win.
What did you say? Tough love, eh?
Yeah, that guy taught me how to win. Like, with him, it was a win or nothing. It's like you have to win. You have to work hard to win.
Yeah. And
it makes you understand that also winning also does not come nice all the time. Sometimes it's nice. Sometimes, you look at the Champions League final, Man City, we expected that they were going to, but it became harder for them. Now they had to dig deep. You understand? So if you have a team like that can win fancy and they can grind for results. So that's what, Gavin taught me as a footballer, that, look, if you having a bad game on the ball as a player, then do something right, like run, tackle,
track back. Yeah, absolutely.
You understand? So, that's what that guy taught me. And till this day, I carry that with me. Where it really matters to me to win.
I got you.
Yeah, after I played for Wits, or while I was still playing for Wits, and I got to understand that this guy would come to you in a friendly match. You lose a friendly game. Ooh.
That winning spirit, and you can see in the way that you play, you are hungrier than ever at 33 years old for success. And you touch on Gavin Hunt. You also touch on the fact that you have represented your country.
Yeah.
And I understand the current national coach is building a younger base and trying to, but there's no price for experience, is there? Imagine now, I imagine you could slot into that midfield and do a job for the country. I'm putting you on the spot here a little bit because AFCON has been qualified, but representing South Africa is also special. I mean, you had a brief taste of that.
Yeah.
I'm sure you still desire to play for the national team, Bafana.
Yeah, well, I mean, representing your country is, is always one of the, best things, cherry on top in one's career, and at the end of the day, our country is blessed with a lot of good midfielders. If you look at our country, we have a lot of good midfielders, and at this point in time, we are at a point where we have to support, every structure and ways that the national team coach believes that would work for how he wants the national team to play, So I think that should be respected, knowing that also representing my country, would be everything right now. But the coach requires a certain way of playing within, his team or within his setup.
Yeah.
And that, has to, be respected, So I would really like to represent my country. It would be very nice, but also I'd really respect the national team coach into what he wants in, his team and how he wants his team to play. And I've worked with him and, I actually understand and can see, what he's trying to do, in the national team.
Looking at that national team now, a guy like Percy Tau just won Champions League with Al Ali. You've got Lyle Foster promoted with Burnley. There's some exciting talent within that team. Why do you think, though, that we're not seeing as many South Africans getting the opportunities to go overseas? I know there's a few playing in the lower leagues in Portugal and other places, but do you think it's sort of the PSL is where a lot of kids aspire to be and play instead of possibly chasing that generation of the Bartletts and, the Fish and Lucas Radebe and that. What's your take on that? Because as I get to know you, you seem to be a student of the game, someone who's prepared to learn all the time, who's taking experiences from coaches, learning how to win from Gavin Hunt. But I don't feel that there's this push or desire for, and I might be mistaken, for younger talent to be cracking the nod and looking outside of the PSL. I mean, PSL's here, and it is our premier competition in South Africa. But there's no doubt going to play for an Al Ali or Wydad or Young, whatever it may be, or in the Premier League. It elevates you, it improves you, and gives you additional tools that you can't learn in the PSL.
And it's also good for the national team.
Absolutely. The Sundowns run, your guys' run, has definitely had an impact on the national team. There's no doubt about it. Because you're not scared of playing North African, West African teams anymore. And when you come up against Egypt and these other teams, they're not as intimidating. Or Morocco. But I think, as you say, for the national team, it has a knock-on effect. So do you think it's a case of a lot of young kids coming in are just happy to sort of wear the jersey and play in the PSL? Or what do you make of it?
Look, I think in that kind of sense, when it comes to players being abroad, is that it's very hard to look at something that is far from you, if I may, because I made an example earlier. I said the reason why I started believing that I can one day play professional football, I can play in the PSL, because I saw someone right next to me doing it. So I don't know why it's not happening that we have a lot of players overseas. But my thing is, if we have a lot of players overseas, then we will have young ones not even looking, into the PSL. Or they will eventually say, look, I want to go overseas.
Sure.
You understand? So I don't know how maybe we're going to do it, but, we have to have like a lot of players overseas. And then that's when, like, everyone now is going to say, oh, I know Thabang. Thabang used to play here. Now he's playing overseas. I want to play overseas, because some people also are motivated by, those little things that you do. It's like if you come back home, you play overseas, you build your mom a big house, and then, kids are like, I also want to play overseas. You understand? You understand? And that's also plays in their mind, that, oh, I'm going to be able to do this because I'm playing overseas. But now the thing is that what they see now is a lot of, us in the PSL, that we doing this and they think is enough, because it's all they see to say, oh, I also want to play for this club because Thabang does this for his family and I also want to do the same, So there's no looking up to someone that is close.
I got you.
You understand? It's looking at, if I'm going to look at Kevin De Bruyne, when the TV's off, I'll forget about him.
Sure.
You understand?
He's not in your daily circle. Yeah, I got you.
But if I'm looking at Percy Tau, when the TV's off, he flies back, he comes home, and I hear that, oh, Percy did this at home. Percy, you understand what I'm saying? And now that, imagine if we had like a lot of people that are overseas, that do that. You hear that, hey, this guy came back and he did this, he bought his mom this, he bought his dad this, and and the word spreads, and that also plays as motivation to say, I want to go overseas.
Absolutely.
So
because not everyone comes from great backgrounds, and most footballers come from hard backgrounds where they want to buy mom a house, where they want to contribute to the community. But that also seems to be changing in terms of obviously it's always been about the flashy cars and the lifestyle, and that's the trap that a lot of footballers fall into. But there seems to be this also focus on, how do I give back to my community? How do I become the best role model for my community in Mpumalanga or Limpopo, wherever it may be? And I think that's so important that footballers start taking an approach like you are, where it's about being an ultimate professional for your career. That's not just what you do on the park or on the training session. How you interact with fans, photos, how you interact with the media, social media. It's all a full circle approach that's required these
Yeah.
days. But just circling back to the playing overseas, a guy like Benny McCarthy sitting as one of the assistants at Manchester United, it's not that people don't know about South African footballers, because you have got people. Benny, look what he did with Amazulu.
Yeah, exactly.
So there's always that hope that someone gets spotted. But for now, the PSL is where people have to cut their teeth. They have to ply their trade, and they have to do the best they can, like with you and Orlando Pirates.
Yeah.
Second in the league, Nedbank Cup final. Last year was the Confed Cup final.
Yeah.
And
the MTN8.
And MTN8.
Yeah.
I mean, let's not forget that. It's good to be a Pirates fan at the moment. But I think where the club's going at the moment, I get the feeling that you guys are hungry for more. Like this is just the beginning.
Yeah.
Is that fair?
Yeah.
That there's more silverware?
Yeah. Like, I wouldn't sit here and say to you there's more silverware, but I'll tell you that team will give it their all. That team is more hungry than it's ever was. You know, so that team will go out there and compete for everything. Go out there,
I've no doubt.
and compete for everything, because the thing is, winning is like we take it like a drug where you get addicted to it.
Yep.
You know, when you get addicted to it, and there's no way of living without it. You know, so it's like that now. We won 2 trophies in one season, you know, and the next season, you know, it's the most difficult one compared to this one, because being a champion is not the best thing, but doing it again after you've done it, that's the best thing.
Yeah.
That's championship mentality.
Yeah.
So I think we're there.
I'm very excited to see how the next season rolls up and plays out. What's next for you? What are some of the boxes you'd like to tick now? You're a guy who's given a lot of his life, if not all his life, to football. What's next for you in terms of preparing for the next season? Obviously, there's a nice big CAF Champions League campaign. You're defending 2 titles. You're chasing Sundowns. Everyone's chasing Sundowns at the moment. But for you, what are some of the boxes you'd like to tick? Because you did talk about a legacy.
Yeah.
And I've just been so impressed with you. I think you're a fantastic human being. And
Thank you.
I've known you for the last couple minutes that we've been talking, but what else do you want to achieve in your life? I know as a father, you obviously have your kids that you are extremely passionate and proud of and want to be part of their lives. But from a football sense, what are the boxes you want to tick?
Look, I like when, you know, one day when I leave Orlando Pirates, you know, I want to be remembered as someone that was part of, you know, the success or the growth into success of the team. So, you know, whether I'm in the starting lineup or not, you know, I try and do my best to say, look, where I can help, you know, in terms of like maybe speaking to the youngsters and, you know, helping wherever that I can, you know, because I don't want to be a person that, you know, is remembered for just playing, because I can see that the game is broad, you know, there's a lot of things that you can, you know, contribute to the game.
Absolutely.
And for you to, you know, to be remembered. And like, it's, for me, is that I'm trying to get the younger ones to understand what I understand now that I didn't understand at their age about the game.
Like a mentor.
Yeah, so so it's just a matter of trying to, you know, instill it and saying, look, do this or do that. Because one thing I always tell them is that play like or train like time is not on your side.
Those are wise words.
Because like one other thing that gets us, you know, in our country is that like I'm 19 or 17, I get promoted to the first team, and I don't really put in the work because I think I still have time. I think, okay, Thabang is going to retire. When Thabang retires, I'm going to fill in that spot. No. While he's still there, push him out. Push him out. Work hard. Work like time is not on your side. Don't work like you still have time. Work like time is not on your side. You work like as a 17 or 16-year-old, you want to be part of the team. You want to be in the starting lineup. So I think that's where now we'll start seeing like a lot of younger players, being introduced in the PSL, because sometimes it's more of like, well, I still have time. And sometimes you don't.
And time waits for no one.
Time waits for no man.
Thabang Monare, it has been an absolute pleasure. Thank you so much for coming in and sharing your story. I could talk to you for hours, man.
It's a pleasure, man.
You're definitely coming back on the show. So,
you'll let me know.
I will definitely. But thank you so much. Keep up the amazing work. Congrats on a phenomenal season. And up the Bucks.
Thank you.